We shall wait and see. Because, courtesy of our favorite NHL insider, Frank Saravalli, turns out there is some new information on the Tyler Myers trade details and whichever teams could be involved. Now, big shout out over to Frank. He made headlines here in Vancouver earlier this week for his very heated appearance on Halford and Bruff. I honestly do not know if Frank Saravalli is going to make any more appearances on Halford and Bruff. I would be like 50-50 on if he does come back. And if you want to know why that may be the case, I highly recommend you go out there and listen to the episode itself. It was quite the heated argument. But in regards to Frank Saravalli, he had his new NHL trade targets board posted earlier this morning, with Vancouver Canucks defenseman Tyler Myers appearing at the forefront. This will be linked in the description, hockey247.com. It's Frank Saravalli's new website since he is no longer on Daily Faceoff, and Tyler Myers is indeed the main headliner of this piece. The Canucks are arguably the team to watch over the next week. Star center Elias Pettersson is in play, though the Canucks have not presented any teams to ponder to his agent, and he holds all the cards with a full no move. Vancouver is also weighing interest in Connor Garland, whose 6-year $36 million extension didn't even kick in, while pressing to move Evander Kane and their other pending UFAs. Defenseman Tyler Myers seems to be warming up to the notion of moving his family. Sources indicate Detroit, Dallas, and Anaheim are the most interested parties, and Myers appears to be partial to Dallas if the two teams can make a deal work. Speaking about that Dallas Stars team, they are pondering how to best use the $9.85 million in salary cap space left by Tyler Seguin's knee injury that'll keep him out for the entirety of the year. If Myers were to true up $3 million, that would leave a sizable chunk left for a winger like Texas native Blake Coleman. Although Coleman's year remaining on his deal is problematic as the Stars attempt to re-sign Jason Robertson. Now, it should be noted here that Tyler Myers was actually born in Texas as well. I'm pretty sure that's a well-known trivia fact about Myers and his life. The guy is a Canadian rep when it comes to international tournaments and whatnot. He's always on Team Canada, but he was born in Houston, Texas, USA. Now, I am impartial to Texas city-state rivalries and whatnot. I don't know if folks from Dallas would dislike a guy from Houston or whatever. I know there are kind of those rivalries in Alberta, for example. The Flames fans don't like the Oilers fans, etc., etc. But Tyler Myers seems like he would be interested in going over to Dallas. They are obviously the best team of the three that we have talked about. Amongst them, Detroit and Anaheim. Actually, are they? Are the Red Wings better than Dallas this season? No, not by much. Okay, so the Stars are vaguely in a higher territory than Detroit this season, so it would make sense why Myers would want to go there. Also, I'm thinking about it like this, we wanted to see Evander Kane go over to Dallas or Colorado so he could torture Quinn Hughes. Same thing for Tyler Myers, although D on D definitely is not the ideal scenario for an NHL setup. But with that said, let's talk about the new team on the block here, the Anaheim Ducks. There were some comments made by folks on social media asking, hey, what exactly is it that Vancouver could target from Anaheim? Would they just be interested in a draft pick or whatever? We recognize that apparently the Red Wings were interested in sending over a second for Tyler Myers, not because Vancouver was shopping him, but because Detroit just really wanted Tyler Myers. And for the Anaheim Ducks, there were some comments made by folks on social media. There was a comment on Pavel Mintyukov, a defenseman that hasn't really been given all too much of a chance this season. This is a pretty good player, I would say. He was I think OHL's Defender of the Year that one season, something like that. There you go. Most outstanding OHL defenseman one time in his last season over there, I'm pretty sure. 84 points in 69 games played, split between Saginaw and Ottawa. He had a 28-point campaign in his first year with Anaheim. This season, he is on pace for 25 points in 77 games, so it has been a pretty rough go for Pavel Mintyukov. He's been starting to get a little bit more minutes recently, and he is coming off of a 2-point game yesterday against the Winnipeg Jets. But Mintyukov, I think, is a very nice piece. Long term, he would certainly have more projectability than some of the other defensemen Vancouver has taken a swing on. I'm thinking about the Akito Hiroses and the, in a way, Mancinis of the world. You could also talk about the Eric Bronstroms of the world. A lot of guys that Vancouver has tried to use that had potential earlier on, but just aren't it. P.O. Joseph is another one you can toss into that conversation. Derek Pouliot. I would say that Mintyukov has a much better ability to project than most of those guys, but Tyler Myers, 1-for-1, I don't know if that's really going to happen. Now let's stick with Vancouver defensemen and start talking about another angle that I wanted to explore here in this video too. Let's head over to the Canucks subreddit and read a post made by I'm Always Sorry that highlights Filip Hronek and his interview style. Take a look at this. It's from Ian McIntyre's new article. It's prime comedy right here. The thought of having these interviews every week would be great. Take a look at this. In Filip Hronek's interview with Sportsnet on Friday, he said he was unaware of Jim Rutherford's remarks. I'm not following the media. He hadn't been worried about getting traded. No, not really. And he hadn't considered being captain. I haven't thought about it. Those answers, by the way, have not been edited for brevity. He responded to 3 questions with 12 words, which surely puts him at the top or bottom in some analytics categories per 60. And how would he like to speak to reporters every day as captain? Yeah, that would be cool. He deadpanned. Now this, of course, is a pretty funny introduction to the idea of one Filip Hronek becoming the next Vancouver Canucks captain. As was indicated by various sources in the media and Jim Rutherford himself, Hronek is viewed in the room as a pretty big leadership presence. And when thinking about guys that could become the next captain for the Canucks, Filip Hronek's name has definitely taken over the spotlight over names such as Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser, and even Tyler Myers. Make no mistake about it, Filip Hronek is signed for the long haul. He's got a contract till 2032. He's making $7.25 million. He's relatively cheap for what he provides, and he is the best defenseman on the team at the moment. It's just, when you look at these kinds of comments, it's like, is this really the kind of guy that Vancouver should appoint as captain? Not because he's bad at interviewing or whatever, but because usually when it comes to players who happen to be captain, they tend to be able to speak in purple prose a lot more. They tend to have eloquent answers and very meaningful discussions with the media and connection with the fans. I'm not saying Filip Hronek is incapable of that, but what I am saying is when it comes to the day-to-day media representation for the team, this would be a very big breath of fresh air. Deadpan, short answers, definitely not a guy who is going to take any BS from the media. And who knows, maybe that's actually a good thing for what Vancouver has to offer. If they are a rebuilding team, if they suck for the next 2-3 years, if the media is going to get antsy, if they're going to start questioning the direction, if they're going to be kind of brash when interviewing these Canucks players, then maybe it would help to have a captain that just does not give a crap. I don't know. It's an interesting thought, and these are some comments made in the subreddit as well. Not giving a single crap about media would probably be the best quality a captain in this city could have. That and visiting local charities. Cough, cough, Quinn Hughes. So with all that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the latest on Tyler Myers' trade talk, him being linked to the Anaheim Ducks, and how do you feel about Filip Hronek and his interview style, and how it shall lend itself to potential Vancouver Canucks captaincy material? Is it worth it in your opinion? Is it not? Is he a good choice? Or should the Canucks just not have a captain at all? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.